Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you. You guys were amazing. Sarah and Louise, thank you for that great introduction. Let's give a round of applause to Rahima, too. Rahima was going on about me a little bit, but she's one of the most intelligent, elegant, and eloquent colleagues I've ever had, and we just want to say thank you, Rahima, for being here tonight. So anyway, it's so great for me to be here. You know, I'm a hometown girl. I grew up in Arlington, Virginia, so it's always so wonderful. Yeah, give it up for Arlington, Northern Virginians. So it's so great for me to be able to come home, and it's a little poignant for me because my dad died about 3 years ago, and I lost my mom last Labor Day, and we sold the house recently that I lived in for 57 years on North 40th Street in Arlington. But this is a source of such wonderful memories for me, so many happy times, and I really do feel like the Washington, D.C. area is my home, so I'm thrilled to be here. And I thought that I would just tell you briefly sort of how I got here, because you might be thinking, really, what is she doing here, and how did she get connected to this wonderful organization? And it all started, I guess, in 2008. You know, ever since I got my job on the Today Show, I've tried to do commencement addresses, about one a year, and I've been very privileged to be invited to speak at a number of institutions. And back in 2008, I was asked to speak at Case Western Reserve in Cleveland. And I had by then given a number of speeches and a number of commencement addresses. And quite frankly, I was really tired of hearing myself tell the same stories again and again. So I thought, I've had the privilege to interview so many interesting, accomplished people. I was going to reach out to them and say, what advice would you give to recent college graduates? So, you know, I'd been on television for a while at that point, so I reached out to people like Queen Rania of Jordan and Sheryl Crow and Bill Clinton, just to name drop a few. And because, you know, I had known them professionally, and I thought they might be interested in helping me with this speech. And I ended up using a lot of the quotes, and then I realized, well, wouldn't this make a great book? If I reached out to so many people I've met through the years and asked them to give me their advice, from Howard Schultz. I mean, there's so many people. And by the way, everyone is getting a free copy tonight. So you can see all the people who I convinced to contribute. But anyway, so the response was overwhelming. I was anchoring the CBS Evening News, and on the side, I was emailing all these people, and they, lo and behold, were willing to participate. I think particularly because I told them that my proceeds were going to go to charity, because I hated when people reached out to me and asked me to contribute or write an essay for a book, and then they took all the money. I just didn't think that was right. I thought that was kind of creepy. So I said to all these people, I'm going to give all the money to charity. So Random House ended up publishing the book, but then I was in a conundrum. What charity should I give these proceeds to? And obviously, as many of you probably know, cancer advocacy has really been my #1 cause, having lost my husband, Jay, to colon cancer in 1998. But I thought it only made sense. This was advice for recent college graduates, high school graduates, really anyone who was looking for a little inspiration. So it only made sense that I would give it to some organization that was involved with college scholarships, particularly because my parents were firm believers in the power of education. And as I, you know, went about my professional life, I realized that so many people didn't have the same opportunities I had growing up. So I asked some friends, I looked around, and a friend of mine, Lisa Paulson, who's head of the Entertainment Industry Foundation in Los Angeles, which is the umbrella organization of all my cancer work, I said, I'm lost. I don't know what organization would be worthy of these proceeds. And then she told me about Scholarship America. And I said, what? What is Scholarship America? I've never heard of it. But it didn't take me long to get an education about the incredible work that Scholarship America does. And then I got a chance to get to know Irving Fradkin. And what can I say? He had me at hello. Irving and I are members of an unparalleled mutual admiration society. And I was so excited. I loved the story of Scholarship America. I loved how much they had done for so many kids since its inception in 1958, that I said, you know, this is where I'd like the money to go. Then, when I talked to Lauren and other people at Scholarship America, I said, well, what can we do with this money? And they told me about the idea of dream scholarships. And coincidentally, I had done a story when I was anchoring the CBS Evening News about the problems that college kids had staying in college. And I learned something that really hadn't gotten much attention. There was so much focus on getting all kids, including low-income kids, into college, but there wasn't much focus on getting them to stay into college. And I found it so disconcerting that something like 50% of the kids who got into college didn't finish college. And when it came to low-income students of color, it was less than 10%. So I did a number of stories at CBS and found out that because of financial difficulties, because of sometimes emotional and confidence issues, which we heard about earlier, and the fact that some of these kids just didn't have the safety net. They needed a mentor, somebody to guide them when they were running into academic problems or for whatever reason couldn't afford to buy their books during a semester, and they would just start to spiral and have to leave. So I was so thrilled to be able to participate in the Dream Scholarship Program and to help launch that. And I got to, obviously you saw everybody on the show, you all were laughing when Sarah mentioned this, but it was really fun because I totally psyched them out. They didn't think that, like they thought one of them was gonna get the scholarship, and it was so much fun to say, no, not one of you, all of you are getting a scholarship. And then we did the cheesy confetti canyons and all that are sort of part and parcel of that daytime thing. But anyway, so it was just so exciting, and being able to talk to them tonight and hear about what they're doing amazing things. I am so proud of them. I was just so verklempt, as they say in New York, to hear their stories and to listen to the exciting futures they have ahead. So it means so much to me to be here, to be able to be a part of this event, to share the stage with Greg and everybody at the GM Foundation. Of course, I mean, can I call you Donnie, or should I call you Officer Graham? I never knew you were a policeman. Who knew? But to be able to share the stage with them and to contribute to this wonderful organization. As we've heard tonight, you know, we need to tell more people about Scholarship America. We need to spread the word. I said to Lauren, we need better PR for Scholarship America. And so I urge you all to tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your companies that this is a fantastic organization they need to be involved in. And because I was so crestfallen that Dr. Fradkin couldn't come, if you would indulge me, I thought I'd read briefly the foreword he wrote in my book, The Best Advice I Ever Got, which he wrote for the paperback version, which, as I said, you're going to be getting. So it's not too long. Is that okay? Are you guys okay with that? Because I know it's Tuesday and everybody probably wants to go home. But here we go. Okay. Because I think, you know, it really captures who he is and the whole spirit of this incredible organization. It's called Spreading the American Dream. I was born in 1921 to Russian immigrant parents, the youngest of 7 children. The financial struggles of a large family in the 20s, 30s, and 40s required me at the young age of 10 to work in my father's bakery after school and on weekends. This did not stop me from being a typical active boy. I found plenty of opportunity to play with my neighborhood friends. During a game of neighborhood football, I hurt my right hip and leg. Orthopedic surgery was not an option in the 1930s. And so